Yo, what's going on, guys? Ron here, aka Neos, and today, guys, as you can tell by the title, that's right, we are gonna go over 10 combos that you can use in any match with Mitsurugi Fiendsmith. There's combos that I do all the time. These are combos that I've actually recently just kind of worked out and figured out that the perfect way to do it and everything like that. And I'm gonna share that information with y'all today because I love you guys, and I know that y'all love Mitsurugi Fiendsmith too. So, anyways, guys, we're gonna get hit into those replays right now. All right, guys. So, actually, to start the video off, we're going to look at a live replay of me playing against somebody, and the combo that I decided to do. Just give you a little taste of what's to come, right? So, if you look at my hand here, we already have Ritual Spell, we have 2 Ritual Monsters, and I have Prayers. So, pretty stacked hand. No Fiendsmith, unfortunately, but otherwise a very, very strong hand. So draw phase, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to Prayers, tribute the Habakiri here, because even if he ashes me here and stops me from searching with the Prayers, it doesn't matter. I still have another Habakiri to full combo with later. It's fine. And I'll still be able to search like an extra Magatama or something like that. So anyways, we go ahead, and I'm going to search the Murakumo and the Mirror with this. And then we're going to go ahead and move to main phase. I'm going to go ahead, Ritual Summon, right? I'm going to go ahead and bring out the Murakumo, bring out the other snake, make Exciton, make the Requiem, bring out Lacrima, dump the Engraver. Now here what I'm going to do is activate Habakiri here to put an extra body on field. This kind of plays into Nib a little harder, but I didn't see any interaction from my opponent, so I assume they didn't have it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to actually search the Trap and the Futsu here, and then go ahead and put the Murakumo back on the field. Here, I'm going to go ahead and make Sequence, activate Sequence, Diffuse. I'm going to make the Lacrima. Lacrima's going to bring this back, and then I'm actually going to make DDD just to insulate myself right away. Now I'm going to go ahead, summon Futsu. Then I'm going to go ahead and then summon the Habakiri from the deck, tributing the Futsu that I just summoned to get all 3 of them on the field. They have all been tributed at this point, but again, not that big of a deal. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm actually going to link all of them off, including the Sequence, besides the Futsu, and make the Abao here. So I'm going to make Abao, and I'm going to set these 2 cards, and this is what I'm going to pass on, right? This was like going first, by the way, so as you can tell, I have the Trap in here. I do not main the Trap. At this time, I was still not maining the Trap. So yeah, this is specifically going first. Otherwise, this would be the exact same. All this would be is Magatama instead. So we're going to go ahead and pass on this. My opponent's like going to normal summon, I think, like, yeah. Lacrima, I just go, since it's a normal summon, and if this is going to negate and destroy it, I'm just going to kill it, and then they go ahead and scoop. So it didn't matter too much. But anyways, guys, that's a small taste of what's to come, and we'll go ahead and get right into the actual combos. Alright, guys, so we're going to start off a little bit slow. This is going to be the Fiendsmith's Engraver, and any normal summon, or any other body for that matter, right? Any way that you can put an extra body in the field, we can go ahead and do this combo. I chose Fulos just because this also does not mean that you need a 4 in hand, by the way. I know that a lot of the times I'm like, oh, you can normal Fulos, and then that's a 4. This is not one of those times. We're going to go ahead, this is just going to be an extra body. So we're going to go ahead, do the Fiendsmith stuff here, right? Get the Lacrima to field. She's going to send Engraver. Now, this is where we normal summon, right? I'm not going to make Exciton Knight here. I've already gone through the Requiem and stuff. I'm actually going to make Sequence. And then, let's say my opponent nibs me here, right? Before I activate the Sequence, it does not matter. Since I have the Tract in Graveyard, I am going to be able to Fusion Summon. So, if let's say, your opponent nibs you right here, that's fine. You take the nib. It goes to Graveyard. You get the token. Go ahead, you activate the Engraver, you can shuffle the Sequence back, and then you can bring it out, link them both off, make Sequence again, and then fuse anyways. So it literally doesn't matter. You're going to fuse. You're going to lose 1 Light Fiend monster out of here, which it doesn't matter. It's just going to be the Sequence, and you're not going to have the extra ability to bring back the Engraver. But again, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be able to Fusion Summon no matter what. So we're here, we're going to go Fusion Summon, we're going to fuse for 3 here, right? And we're going to make the Desiree. And then on Resolution, I'm going to activate the Engraver. I'm going to be able to shuffle back. I forget what I shuffle back here. I think it's Luri. And then I bring this to the field. Here is where I'm going to activate the Tract, banish it, fusion summon using these two. I'm going to go ahead, target the engraver, bring it back. Anything here? Probably not. And then this is what you're going to go ahead and pass on right here. This will be your full combo. You will pass on DDD Wave Hiking Caesar and a untargetable Desiree with 2 negates. Very, very strong. This is also full follow-up. If they out the Desiree or they out the Caesar or they out both cards, you'll obviously have Engraver still engraved. You'll be able to send a card off the field with Desiree, and you'll be able to burn your opponent with the Lacrima. If you're fortunate enough that they sequence it in a certain way, that, like, for example, Desiree goes first, it shuffles back sequence, then the Lacrima goes second, then that shuffles back Desiree, then Engraver goes third, and then that will go ahead and on your turn shuffle back the Lacrima, which is obviously everything is gone back into the deck, and you can go ahead and start everything all over again. So that's it for combo number 1, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to combo number 2. Alright guys, again, taking it slow at the start here, we're going to go ahead and do only Habaki here, right? So that's it. There are no other cards in our hand, as you can see on the screen. We're just going to go ahead and full combo right here, right now. So, this combo is a little different. I did mention before that I didn't like the line that is the prayers line that you search with the Saji. I liked searching the ritual spell first. However, I have discovered through my own testing that their opponent should just Ash Saji here. They really should. If they don't Ash the Saji, there's no reason for them to hold it. That was the best point for them to Ash. We might as well get the most of our combo, right? So we're going to activate prayers. We're going to get access to Aramasa and tributing, obviously, the Habakiri from hand. This will give us access to Futsu and Ritual Spell. This doesn't have to be Futsu. This can be Murakumo instead. It's up to you. I'm choosing it to sequence this in this way because now if I get nibbed in this combo, it's going to be the Murakumo that comes back and not the Futsu. So basically, the Murakumo is going to get tributed. It's going to activate, and then it's going to come back after it searches like Magatama or prayers, and then it's going to pop their nibbed on the field, so they don't have another body. That's the only reason. You can do whichever one you think is best. I just did it this way. I think it's a little better. So we go ahead, we summon Fusu, we obviously add back Ritual Spell, and then here we're going to go ahead and do this again. Ritual Summon, and put actually the mirror in our hands here. So, this is Special Summon 6. Special Summon number 5 was actually Amino Murakumo. So, this is like where your opponent actually has the first chance to nib you is on the activation of Futsu in the grave, which obviously they're going to wait for it to come back. If they decide to nib you here, that is absolutely fine. You go ahead and they'll tribute your board. Murakumo will come back, pop the nib, search prayers if you want, or it can search you Magatama, whatever you'd like. I would say personally prayers, and then you could probably just use the token and, you know, Murakumo if you like to make something and pass on that. You could make IP if you wanted, or you could just, you know, leave the token there, pass with the prayer set. It's also a good option. But anyways, more likely than not, they're going to hold the nib here. So we're going to go ahead, Fiendsmith combo from here. We have 2 fours. And then we're actually going to use the extra body here. So if we had started with Murakumo, the Murakumo is what would be going to grave right now because it was already tributed. And this would be Futsu, which would be untributed. But again, doesn't really matter so much. And then they would probably nib you here. So they would probably nib you on the summon of sequence, right? Because they don't want you to be able to fuse. You're going to get a bunch of advantage. But let's say they don't. That's fine. Let's say they continue to let you play, and then you summon the Lacrima. And then you go ahead and you bring back Engraver. Now is when they actually have to nib you, right? So now you force them to nib you, and if they do nib you, you're going to burn them for 1200, you're going to search follow-up, and you're also going to pop whatever your their nib as well with the Murakumo, obviously, right? Again, I've mentioned this before, I believe in previous videos. Do not chain your Amino, Murakumo, no Mitsurugi to the activation of nib. It's not worth it. There's no reason for it. You want them to give you a token. The token is the best part, right? Worst case scenario, if like Murakumo's already tributed, it's fine. Like there's no reason. You might as well take the token. So, anyways, here. This is where your opponent has the nib you. If they choose not to, again, that's fine, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to ritual now. right? Because like at this point they don't have nib, or they have imperm and nib, which you're gonna you know, imperm nib is, you know, the wombo combo, which is fine. But now, right, you haven't made it. You're actually gonna re-protect yourself again, right? Obviously this is a one card combo, right? So, but assuming we had 4 other cards in hand, the jump scare with a bow now, if they decide that they want to nib you, you're gonna be able to protect yourself by keeping the bow, right? You're gonna be able to bow, discard any random, like the other +4 cards in your hand, and obviously Murakumo's gonna come back, and you're gonna have a token, right? Like again, there is no risk basically, right? Jump scare, then you're gonna go ahead, shuffle back. I believe I shuffled Exiton. No, I shuffled Sequence back here. Shuffle back Sequence, brought back the engraver. Again, they have to nib you now. If they don't, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go ahead, make DDD, and that will be the end of the combo. So just Habakiri, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna pass on a Baoq, the Habakiri. I'm sorry, not the Habakiri, the Murakumo, and DDD. So again, that's with 4 other cards in your hand. You could have drawn Ash Blossom, Super Polymerization, Imperm, and Bell, right? And just Habakiri. That's full combo, and now you have the total interruptions. You have 2 interruptions from the, obviously, your DDD Wave Hiking Caesar. You have the Abao, which can either pop a card, or if you'd like to instead, you can also reborn a card. So there's 2 options there. You have the Handwrite from Murakumo, the Board Wipe, the Prayers, and you have Futsu engraved, because now what you can do is you can activate Prayers, tribute your Murakumo, bring back your Futsu, and then you can go ahead and, you know, go from there. Or let's say they hit your Prayers, right? You tribute the Habakiri, or the Murakumo, and then they ash you because they drew into it. That's fine. You still have a bow as long as you have a card in hand to bring back Murakumo or Futsu anyways, which obviously, you know, you're probably going to be bringing back the Murakumo off of its own effect. And even if they, like, let's say they have call by now, you're also still protected because of a bow. So anyways, guys, that's it for the just Habakiri line. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next combo. Alright guys, here we go with the 3rd combo, and this is going to be double engraver and a discard. Again, we're kind of, like I said, we're trying to start slow, right? You know, maybe not hands that are super great, hands that aren't that cracked. We're going to go ahead and we're going to say, you know, we do play 3 engraver. There's a lot of times you sometimes draw 2 engraver, stuff like that. This is a showcase on what you can do with, obviously, these extra bodies in hand. So we're going to go ahead, Fiendsmith stuff is normal, right? Again, nothing really changes here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to dump the other engraver still with the Lacrima, right? Just because we have the 2 engraver already doesn't mean we should dump like Paradise or anything here. Instead, dump the engraver, right? Now this is literally all of your Fiendsmith monsters from the main deck and one of them from the extra deck that are in the graveyard now, right? So you have the 2 engraver, the Luri, Lacrima's on field, and then you have the engraver in hand. All of your Fiendsmiths are out of the deck. Alright, cool. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually just fuse right now. So we're going to go ahead, fuse right away for Lacrima. Lacrima's going to go ahead and activate, and it's going to bring you back the engraver. They have to nib you here. If they don't nib you here, your opponent doesn't have it, or they have imperm nib, and they're going to wait. And so what you're going to do is, let's say they do nib you here, what you will do is you go, yep, that's fine. You'll take the token. Go ahead, you'll activate the engraver, shuffle back the Lacrima for cost, bring it out, you'll make Sequence, and you're going to fuse anyways. Doesn't matter. So we're going to go ahead, make Sequence, like I said. This is going to activate. We're going to go ahead, and I think, I shuffle Requiem here. We're going to go ahead and burn our opponent for 12, and then we're going to go ahead and make Desiree. We're going to go ahead, now we're going to activate the engraver here. We're going to bring it back. Alright, so that's fine. And then we're going to link for 3 here with the, for the Egnum Day, using obviously the Sequence and the Desiree. And we're going to go ahead and make a bow. And then this is where a bow is going to come in. A bow is going to go ahead, discard the card for your discard, and she's going to give you back the Egnum Day. Egnum Day is going to go ahead, bring back Desiree. You're going to re-equip Sequence. And now during your end phase, you're going to go ahead and you're going to bring back the bow, right? So with this whole combo, you have follow up engrave with the for the engraver. You have the lacrima engrave. So if they for some reason they out this somehow, they pop it whatever, and they get rid of it, you can go ahead, use the lacrima, bring back Ignumde again, and bring back the Desiree again. So like literally, so you have redundancy in the graveyard. Like I said, this is a technically 3-card combo, right? So you would probably have 2 other cards in your hand, and you would have 2 discards, obviously one for a bow or for whatnot. And again, let's say they out this, and you shuffle Lacrima back. You can go ahead and you can go during the end of main. You can go a bow, discard a card, bring back the Ignumge for a second time. That way, on your turn, you can go ahead and literally just like draw phase, quick effect. After you draw, bring back Desiree again. You can loop it 3 times. It's insane, right? So this is it for the technically 3. It would be a 2.5 card combo, like I said. It's any discard, it's any card. So I really hope y'all thought that was pretty good. When I found that one out, I was so happy because I was like, wow, that's crazy. So, anyways, guys, that's it for that combo. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. Alright guys, so here we have Habaki and Luri, right? So again, not a desirable hand. The Habaki is obviously very, very good. It's nice to have, but seeing Luri in hand is kind of like, darn, whatever the case might be, right? But luckily, in a deck like this, not really needing your normal summon, it's actually not bad drawing Luri. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go draw a standby main. We're gonna normal summon Luri, right? And what this is mainly to do here, right, is I want my opponent to think like, oh, that's not good, right? That's what you want them to think. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon, and we're going to go ahead and make Requiem. Go ahead and activate Requiem. If they don't ash that, they probably don't have it. They would have ashed that right there. They should have ashed that right there. If your opponent has the ash and they don't ash that, they are a bad player. Straight up, they are bad. So we're going to go ahead, dump the engraver, right? We have 3 Light Fiends plus the Lacrima now. Perfect. Now we're going to go ahead. We're going to start doing the Habaki stuff now, right? Mitsurugi stuff. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the prayers, bringing out the Aramasas. We're going to now search the Murakumo and the ritual spell. We're going to go ahead and ritual summon. And then also, so there are special summons right now. So we special summon the Lacrima, the Requiem, the Aramasa, and now the Murakuma. So we're only at 4 special summons right now, so we can't even be Nib yet. This is going to be the 5th special summon, right? So that's fine. And then here we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and straight off and start linking this off right now, right? We don't want to play into Nib if they have it. So we're going to go ahead, summon this, and let's say our opponent decides to Nib here before, again, you get the chance to fuse. That's fine. You're going to go ahead, bring back you're going to search with Murakumo, pop the token, going to go ahead, go activate Engraver, shuffle back the sequence for cost, use the token plus Engraver, make sequence again. You are going to fuse no matter what. Again, I'm probably going to say that a lot. We're going to go ahead and make Lacrima here. Lacrima's going to bring back Luri, specifically, right? What you could do instead is bring back Engraver as well. Bring back Engraver, threaten the Nib, right? Threaten them to try to Nib you, because it doesn't really matter here, right? So go ahead, do that. It's fine. And then you're going to go ahead, and now you can still use the Engraver effect and shuffle back the sequence to, again, re-threaten the Nib, right? So that was like a slight, not misplay, but me just going through the combo too quickly. It should have been, instead of Luri, it should have been Engraver. But again, doesn't matter. So now we have a bow. We're going to go ahead and make DDD. Now we are protected from Nib. We have redundancy on the field as well. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and Ritual again. We're going to go with Ritual. We're going to get Mirror. We're going to go ahead and summon this back. And now what we're going to do is actually use Mirror to bring out the Habaki that we tributed at the start of the duel. We're going to go ahead, bring Search Prayers, bring it back the Futsu now. So we have all 3 of our bodies. And I'm going to go ahead and link these 2 real quick for IP Masquerena, right? So now on the field here, we not only have Futsu, we have IP, we have a bow, and we have TDD Wave High King Caesar. Our graveyard is lined, and we also have Luri in the graveyard now. And since we have Luri in the graveyard, that means we have extra fodder that we can shuffle back to burn our opponent with the Lacrima if we choose to. And the brick is out of our deck, right? So now, like, let's say if I don't want to do that and I don't want to burn them, I have the ability to just keep the, like, the most bricky card from the Fiendsmith package out of my hand. You know, so I don't draw into it, obviously. And obviously we have prayers as well. And again, this is, you know, it's a huge board. It is such a huge board. And even if they nib you, it doesn't matter. You're going to have other cards in hand more likely than not. You're going to be able to use a bow, bring whatever back that you want to. You could bring back. It doesn't matter. It's going to get tributed. Protect your bow. And then, you know, it doesn't matter. It's fine. And also, if they nib you here, what you can do is actually let, you know, they nib you and they imperm your DDD Wave High Kick Caesar, right? And then you go, okay, that's fine. You chain the bow, get it off the field, bring back whatever, everything leaves, and phase, you have the token, and then you go ahead and bring back the bow. What you can actually do next turn, if you want to, instead of bringing something back like Futsu or Murakumo, what you can actually do is bring back IP. And then you can use IP to link summon and whatnot, because you're still going to have prayers, you can still have access to your Mitsurugi stuff. It's awesome. This is crazy, guys. But anyways, that's it for that combo. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Alright guys, so we're actually going to move on to a little bit more of the pure side, and we're going to start with Habaki and prayers. So now since we have the prayers, right, we don't need to search for it. So we're going to go ahead and activate this. This is just bait at this point, right, because we already have everything that we need in hand. If our opponent ashes this, it literally doesn't matter. They're going to hand loot themselves. If they don't, it's nice. We're just going to go ahead and add Ritual Spell to hand here. Alright, again, we're going to activate prayers, tribute this off, special summon Aramasa. This is going to search both the Murakumo, and this is going to search Mirror, right? We're going to go ahead and search Mirror here because now we have an additional way to Ritual Summon, and this is going to obviously, later on the combo, extend to put more bodies on the field. So we're going to go ahead, activate Ritual Spell, we're going to summon here, and this is going to go chain 1, chain 2, add Ritual Spell, summon the Serpent, right? So at this point, we have special summon 1, 2, 3, only 4 times. That's great. We're going to go ahead and summon again. This will be summon 5, and then obviously summon 6, right? So this is where our opponent has the first chance to nib us. By the way, again, I think I mentioned this in a previous combo. You can swap these two. You can do Futsu first, Murakumo second. That way the Murakumo comes back instead of Futsu. That way you can pop their nib. If you want to do that, I would say do that instead. I just did it this way because I like having Futsu on the field more. Because it's a bigger threat overall because it's adding a bunch of follow-up. People hate dealing with this card. So, anyways, outside of that, we're going to go ahead. We're going to full combo Fiendsmith here now. We're going to go ahead, summon Lacrima, dump the engraver, link for the sequence here. And again, if your opponent nibs you here, it literally doesn't matter. You go, okay, cool. You search the Magatama or the trap, whatever you decide to play. If with the Futsu or the Murakumo that gets tributed, you summon it back. If it's Murakumo, pop the nib. And then you can go activate engraver, shuffle back the sequence for cost, summon to the field, use the token, plus the engraver, make sequence again. Doesn't matter. Opponent can't stop you. We're going to go ahead and make Lacrima here. Lacrima, again, I brought the other Lacrima back. Bring back the engraver. Make sure you bring back the engraver here. So we're going to bring back engraver because, again, you want to threaten the nib, force them to try to nib you. Anyways, we're going to go ahead. I actually make the Agnum Day here because I wanted to have the Link 3. Because I'm going to go straight into Caesar now. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually tribute off the Futsu to summon back the Murakumo here. And then this is going to go ahead and summon back, search the Magatama. And then I will go ahead and use the, obviously, the Link 3 plus this to make a bow. Again, now you have a bow. You have basically the same board, but what this offers you instead on top of this is what you can do now is you actually have access to something really funny, and you can use the Abao to bring back the Agnum Day, which can bring back the Lacrima, which the Lacrima can dump the Paradise, which gives you access to being able to obviously send the Desolated Grave. So I did it specifically like this just to showcase like you know, again, additional interactions because we had the extra Lacrima engrave. The other combos didn't have that, so like again, I'm trying to maximize my interruptions or possible interruptions I can threaten my opponent with, right? And again, 2 cards, right, basically, and you know you still have the 2 most important ones in your hand for the Mitsurugi stuff. And again, you're insulated from Nib and Imperm here. If your opponent goes activate Nib and you chain Caesar and they go chain Imperm, you go okay cool, chain a bow, you bring it, you special summon whatever, and then you get the token, bring it back. You can use those. You can actually use whatever the token is, and then you can use if you can because we haven't normal summoned yet here, right? So you have like a Molcharming hand. You could normal it and make the you can make IP or something like that, right? So anyways, that's it for that combo, guys, and we're going to go ahead and move right on to the next one. Alright, guys, so here we have only pre-preparations of rights. So this is, again, a 1-card combo. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. Activate pre-prep. We're going to search Haba. We're going to go ahead and use Haba. Special the Saji from deck. Search prayers. You've seen this already. We're going to go ahead and activate prayers. Do the same thing that we did before. We're going to go ahead and special our Masa. This is going to get us access to the Murakumo and the Ritual spell. Here, activate Ritual spell. Again, same thing as before. Giving us access to the Serpent and the 2 level 4s on field. Adding back the Ritual spell. Ritual summoning again. Again, you can do this the other way around instead. It's up to you. So we're going to go ahead, search an extra copy of prayers here now. Because we just, we're searching follow-up at this point, right? We already have everything else that we need. So here we have the extra bodies that we needed before. We're going to go ahead. Full Fiendsmith combo here. Again, same thing as before. Here what we're actually going to do instead, though, is we're going to use the engraver to bring itself back. So you can do this for the extra body. And then we're going to actually go ahead and fuse for just the 2 here. And we're going to be able to bring back the engraver. Now, if your opponent nibs you here, that's fine. It doesn't matter. You're just going to go ahead and you're going to get the follow-up off the Futsu. It's fine. You can also, instead of bringing back the engraver, you can use the Murakumo instead. It's up to you. So we're going to go ahead. We're just going to straight up make DDD here. The reason, again, that's why I didn't, use the extra piece, because I was just going to go into it immediately instead of linking it. So it's fine. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use the mirror to go ahead and get the last Habakiri onto the field, right? So now all 3 of our rituals are here. And then now we're going to use these and we're going to make the bow again, right? So again, make a bow. We can set these 2 cards and that will be our end turn. Basically the same as the combo that you saw previously, but, a little bit more refined, being a 1-card combo. So anyways, that's it for that. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next combo. Alright guys, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes here. So here is going to be Habakiri and Engraver. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start off, we're going to activate the Engraver here, right? We want to check for Ash, we want to make sure if our opponent has it or not. If they don't, they should Ash the Tract. If they don't, they're not playing right. Because now if they don't Ash it, and let's say you go, Luri, you bring out Luri, and then you go make the Requiem, you go Requiem effect, and then they stop you there, you still have Engraver engrave, it's not good, right? So here we're actually going to go, instead of making the Requiem right away, right, what we're actually going to do is we're going ahead and just go ahead straight up with Saji. You can do Requiem and stuff here first if you'd like, that is up to you. The reason we're doing this is to keep us away from 5 summons and further away from Nib, right? Because as you can see here, this is special summon number 1, 2, and 3. This is going to be special summon number 4 after we ritual summon here, and then it'll be number 5 after the Night Sword Serpent, right? So if we had done the Luri here, we'd already be way into the Nib, and then this kind of forces our opponent to nib us here, right? That way they can get rid of Luri, they can get rid of all of our other stuff, but it's not that big of a deal. Again, this hasn't been tributed yet, so we're going to go ahead, use the Luri, make Requiem, bring back Lacrima from the deck, Engraver, and then again we're going to sequence here. Again, if your opponent nibs you here, doesn't matter, you can still make sequence doing this previously mentioned method. So we're just going to go ahead and continue. We're going to shuffle back 3 here. This is going to make Desiree, We're going to go ahead, activate the engraver, bring this out. Alright, cool. And now we're going to go ahead, fuse again with the tracked engrave, and then we're going to bring back the engraver. Now our opponent has to nib us here. Again, if they don't nib us here, it's because they have imperm nib, and we were going to get hit by it anyway. So, if they do nib you here, you're going to be able to search follow-up, pop the nib on their side of the field, burn them for 12, and you can send a card off the field if you want. You probably don't have to use the Desiree. Maybe for some reason they have another card, or maybe you're going second, they have something in addition. There's a lot of stuff that will go volatile if they nib you here. It is catastrophic for your opponent. So it's, anyways, they say they don't nib us. Awesome. We're going to go ahead, make DDD, and then equip sequence. Now we are safe from imperm and nib. Our opponent cannot go activate nib and then chain imperm to our DDD wave hiking Caesar. Nothing will happen. So now, since we're completely safe, we're going to go ahead and ritual summon again, get us access to the mirror, and then we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to go ahead and link. This time we're actually going to make IP, and now we're going to go ahead, and we had to do this because we had to clear zones. So we're going to go ahead, now we're going to ritual summon again, and then this is going to put prayers in the hand, and Murakumo, and Futsu on field. So very, very robust board. We have follow-up. This was only 2 cards. There's probably 3 other cards in our hand, and so yeah, guys, this is probably the most robust board that you're gonna make. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that combo. It's absolutely insane, and it sets up a lot of interruptions. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next combo. All right, guys. So what we're actually gonna do is I'm gonna show you a secondary combo using the same 2 cards now. So again, Habaki and the engraver, gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and let this one play out, right? You've seen this basically already before. We're just gonna run through it. It's gonna be all the same. We're gonna go ahead and I will stop it whenever we get to the point that it is different, right? So again, we're just gonna go ahead and do this, get us access to our extra rituals, and we're gonna get, again, this could be Futsu or Murakumo, doesn't matter. We're gonna go ahead and put the bodies on field, Requiem, Lacrima, engraver. So now what we did here instead is we use the 2 bodies to make the Exciton Knight. So the Exciton Knight gives us access to an additional Light Fiend in the graveyard at the sacrifice of a body on the field, for like example, for like link material and stuff. So now if you look at the graveyard, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Light Fiends in the graveyard, which is a lot. Again, let's say your opponent nibs you here, doesn't matter. This is going to come back, pop nib, search follow up. You use the token, engraver comes back by shuffling back the sequence, and you use the engraver plus that, make the sequence. Again, doesn't matter. So we're going to go ahead, shuffle for 3 here, make the Desiree. We're going to go ahead, and then we're going to bring back the engraver off its own effect. We're going to go ahead and fuse here, bring back the engraver. Again, our opponent has to nib us here. If they do, it's catastrophic. We search follow up, we pop the nib, we burn them for 12. If they have an additional card on field, we're gonna send it to grave. It's like I said, absolutely catastrophic for them. We're gonna go ahead and equip. Go ahead and make DDD. This doesn't matter the sequencing here. You should probably make DDD first in case your opponent's like, oh god, what's happening? You know, should I nib? Just make the DDD instead of equipping first. So just to give your opponent less time to react for the most part. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and ritual summon again, giving us access to mirror. We're going to go ahead and mirror, giving us the 3rd body. We're going to search prayers, and then we're going to go ahead and make IP again. So the difference is that we're going to have an additional Light Fiends in the graveyard. That way, now you're going to be able to like immediately use the burn from Lacrima. You're going to immediately be able to use the send from Desiree, and you're going to have additional stuff in the graveyard to send back with the engraver, right? So it's giving you a bit extra fuel for the Fiendsmith stuff that you might need for follow-up turns, right? Again, completely optional. It's up to you. Depends on what you want to use. And yeah. So anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the 2.1 version of the Habaki and engraver combo. So anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Alright guys, so this is going to be pre-prep plus engraver. This combo is absolutely insane. I can't wait to get into this. These are both 3-0s. You're more likely than not to see both of these in your hand. And when you do, it's just death, guys. It's death for your opponent if they can't stop you. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna start this. You've seen all of the Fiendsmith stuff before. We're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna rush through this, right? We're trying to bait Ash here. They Ash us, so be it. They should Ash us on track. If they don't, or Requiem, they don't have it. So we're gonna go pre-prep here. This goes. We're gonna go ahead and do the natural combo again from this line. Prayers, tribute, summon Aramasa. We're gonna go ahead and search. Chain 1, chain 2. This gives us access to the Murakumo and the ritual spell. We're gonna go a ritual spell here. Summon the Murakumo. Give us the extra body, and then we're gonna go ahead and make sequence, right? So now, again, they nib you here, doesn't matter. Do the previously mentioned technique. Just, use the token plus the engraver. So, and we're going to go ahead and fuse here. And then we're going to go engraver, shuffle back for cost, summon itself back out. We're going to go banish, fusion summon, bring itself back, make DDD, and then we're going to go ahead and equip. We are now safe from imperm and nib. Our opponent can't do anything about it now. The only thing that they can have is imperm and Valor. Nobody's playing Valor right now because it's just better to play imperm, and targeted negation sucks right now anyways. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead. Now we're going to ritual summon again. We're going to go ahead, use the 2 extra bodies now, make IP, re-ritual summon with the mirror that we had in addition. And now this is the board that we're going to pass on, guys. So, since we were able to access the mirror early and didn't have to search for it, we actually get an additional search for an interruption. That is the Magatama. That could also be the trap if you decide to play that in the main. I play Magatama in the main because it is both good going first and going second. It guarantees that no matter which way I draw it, it's good. And so, yeah, guys, this combo is absolutely insane. I want to go over this end board real quick at the end. Hand rip, board wipe, double negate, double summon negate, attempt to link summon. We have follow up, we have prayers, and we have Magatama. We also have the mirror in the graveyard to chain block. And yeah, guys, it's just crazy, guys. Like, we also have the burn as well from the Fiendsmith Lacrima that's underneath the DDD, and we have the send, so that could be possibly up to 12 interruptions from us, which is absolutely insane. It's just absolutely crazy, guys. And that's with 2 cards, right? The other 3 cards in your hand could have been hand traps, so it's so hard to stop. So, but anyways, guys, that's it for that combo, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, guys, I saved the absolute craziest and best combo for last. So if you look at my hand here, you're gonna be like, "Yo, Neos, Ron, what is this? Why does your hand look like this?" So I don't have a way to simulate this through the simulator without having like an opponent to do it with. So this is supposed to simulate if you have super polymerization and Luri in hand. So basically what you're going to do, right, is you're going to super poly 2 of your opponent's cards, which is why I only have 4 cards because the 5th card is the discard. So you're going to super poly, you're going to get a body, whether it be like Garura, whether it be Mud Dragon, it doesn't matter, assuming it's Garura, best case scenario, right? That'll give you the chance to, draw a card whenever the extra body that you have is going to leave the field. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use prayers to special this for my hand, paying 800 life points. That means that's going to simulate my super poly. And then the tract is going to simulate me discarding the Luri and then being able to special summon it back. So they're going to go ahead, draw phase, right? Let's say I rip super poly, I discarded the Luri and it came back, right? So all that's left in my hand is whatever the random, my other random card was, right? So we're going to go full Fiendsmith combo here. I assume my opponent doesn't stop us. Again, if they nib you here, which I actually don't think they can, because that was all done in draw phase, so you did 1, 2, 3. Yeah, your opponent can't even nib you yet. It's actually insane. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to do this. We're going to make the Fusion Lacrima. We're going to go Lacrima, bring back Engraver, threat nib. Do you have nib? No. All right, cool. We're going to go ahead and make the Agnum Day, and then we're going to go ahead and bring back the Engraver off of its own effect. And then here, we're going to go ahead, make the Abao. Abao here is going to go ahead and summon back the Engraver, and then this is what we're gonna make the Wave Hiking Caesar. Also, disregard that he's a defense. I don't know why I did that. I might just be tired. It is 2 o'clock in the morning right now when I'm recording this, so that's probably why. But anyways, with super polymerization and Luri in hand, and that's it. Oh, and a discard. I'm sorry. 2 discards technically. You can get to a Q and the Lightless Shadow and the DDD Wave High King Caesar, right? So obviously you don't have any cards left in your hand to use the Abow right now, but assuming that you probably had the ability to, add advantage to your hand, whether it be you drew a card off of the Garua, let's say you summon Garua, you would actually have an additional card in hand right now because you would have drawn it, right? So if that was the case, you would actually, would have a discard for the Abow, which gives you access to summon back for example, the Agnum Day. Agnum Day brings back Lacrima. Lacrima sends the trap, which now gives you access to, obviously, using Paradise to send the Desiree to send a card off of the field. So, anyways, guys, that's it. That is all for the combos. I really do hope that y'all enjoyed. I'm going to go ahead here, leave this real quick, and I'm going to pull up the deck profile for y'all because I know y'all want to see it. It's the exact same as it was before, and yeah, guys. Outside of that, I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little bigger. That way y'all can see me just a little bit better. And yeah, guys, I really hope that y'all enjoyed all of these combos. I showcased a lot in this video, and it's all amazing, and it just should showcase why this deck is absolutely bonkers, and there's just so much redundancy that's like built in naturally that your opponent interacting with you is it's almost pointless sometimes. I've eaten 4 or 5 hand traps playing an OTK'd. I've eaten 3 or 4 hand traps and built a board that my opponent can't play through. I've been double Fualosed and built a board that, without giving them any draws, or maybe giving them, like, if it was 1 Fuala or 2, giving them 1 or 2 draws, and they couldn't break it. It's just absolutely insane, guys. It's crazy. So, anyways, guys, I really do hope that y'all enjoyed. And let me know, is there anything that maybe y'all found that yourselves think is absolutely amazing that I didn't cover in this video? Please let me know. And anyways, guys, that's going to be it. Again, for the final time, I really do hope that y'all enjoyed, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.